This stuff here, Yerushalmi Challah, in the article Oswald edition, one daf Mem Heil Mid Aleph, the seventh line down, Is Tani Hayarde, and that in the Vilna is on Chav Vav Amud Beis, about halfway down the page, 3, 6, 9, 12 lines down, Is Tani. Okay, so says the Gemara. There are he's tiny. Those who learn hayarden michutz loretz. So the nafkamina is an animal that's standing on a bridge over the Jordan River in terms of meiser behema. Eretz Yisrael and chutz loretz are not mitzdarif. What about animals in bridges? Eretz Yisrael and chutz loretz. So those who say that it's part of Eretz Yisrael, East Tani Hayadim Chutzlaretz, those say the yard is from Chutzlaretz. East Tani Hayadim Guvnei Atzmo, those who say that the Yarden is a boundary unto itself, and it doesn't animals on a good bridge not being starif, neither with Eretz Yisrael or Chutzlaretz. Ma'adamar Hayarden Eretz Yisrael, the way my opinion holds that the Yarden is part of Eretz Yisrael, learns out from a pasuk. Pasuk Dvarim Gimel Yud Zayin says V'haravav Yarden Ugvul. Harava and the Yarden, and then the Gvul on the other side of the Jordan River. Man Marayim Chutzlaretz, it says a pasuk in Yoshua, Parak Yud Ches Pasuk V'Yarden Igbolo Stolapas Kedma. The Yarden is the Gvul of Nachlas bin Binyamin on the eastern side. So it sounds that the Yarden itself is outside the Gvul, on the other side of the boundary. He who says that the Jordan River is a gvul unto itself, and therefore you need to have 10 animals on a bridge. It holds that fushiyeh b'makom echad, that the animals have to be all the animals have to be on the bridge, neither side of the Jordan River. The next word says asa. But the Chazon Ish changed it, and the Yerushalmi changed it to Eser. So it actually would be Busheb Makom Echad on the bridge, Eser. 10 animals on the bridge. Okay. Then the nearest says something similar as well. Okay. Period. The yard is shenatan mizeh, the natan lezeh. This is of course, like all rivers, the Jordan changes its course, and it can flow in a new course, a new riverbed. So what happens is shenatan mizeh and natan lezeh. It now started flowing in an area which took away from Chutzlaretz and made part of Chutzlaretz on the Eretz Yisrael side, or vice versa, took part of what was once Eretz Yisrael side and put it on the Chutzlaretz side. So it always goes by the current riverbed, not by some previous path. Whatever it took from one side, it took from that side, and whatever it gave the other side, it gave to the other side. So I want to ask on this. What is the halacha which you're referring to? If we're going to a place, Eretz Yisrael, V'nasa Surya. If we're to a place where it was a place where it was originally Eretz Yisrael, and now it's on the other side of the river, and it's now has the status of it's now Syria. Cheskaso L'Maisus U'Shvis. Since that place was part of Kedusha, so that Kedusha cannot be taken away just by the Jordan changing its course. It must remain its original Kedusha. So we reject that. And so it can actually be deprived of its Kedusha by the changing of the course of the Jordan River. Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Shem, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Simon, Rabbi Shimon ben Levi said, L'chazokos u'lebi urin. So that... it's very different. It's not in terms of kedusha, but in terms of the Gemara in Baba Basra third parak, says the Sholosh Arotzes L'Chazaka, Yehuda, Eber, Yarden, and Golil. They were Machzik in Eber Yarden, and the owner of the field was in Yehuda. Since there are no caravans prevalent back and forth, and the protestation of the owner will not be heard by the person who's in the field, therefore, even if he's not moche, it's not going to be a chazaka. In terms of these chazakas, this is not in the Bavli. What the Jordan takes, it takes, and what it gives. And so now the land, which was once considered Ever Yarden, we consider part of Eretz Yisrael, vice versa. And therefore, a chazaka made on one side of the river will not be a chazaka on the other side of the river, even if the other side of the river had once been, because the old course of the Jordan River on the same side as this place where the field is now. And for beer meisvus, it says that they're beer shvius actually. The Mishnah Shvius says the 3 arotzes for shvius, Yehuda, Eber, Yard, and Golil. And animals don't generally pass over the Jordan River. So therefore, if it's koled to an animal on one side, the fact that it's available to the animals on the other side doesn't do any good. And this has to do with the river itself, because animals don't cross the river, right? They don't get ferry boats across the river. So therefore, or for that matter, I guess they don't normally go over the bridges. So therefore, each whatever the river changes will now change the boundaries of each land in terms of when the beer meisvus has to take place. The beer shvius has to take place in that land goes by the side of the river it is on now, currently, and that's for Ma'aseh Behema as well. Ma'aseh Behema, since the Jordan River divides between the two sides, even though it doesn't impact on the kedusha as we say before, but there's not what's on one side of the Jordan River is not mitzvah for the other side of the Jordan River. Rabbi Hila b'Shem Rishim looks at v'hu shemashach ofar. He says that really yes, it's true that the Jordan River can change from Maisas and Shvius to status, but not that the river just changed its course. It actually has to sweep dirt out of Chutzlaretz to put it in Eretz Yisrael. And because the place which is the place has to do with the underlying the underlying ground as well. So therefore, if the underlying ground was once chayiv, it remains chayiv. Once potter, it remains potter, unless the actually physically removes the dirt from one side and deposits on the other. I don't feel like explaining that sufficiently. Let me try that again. We're talking about where this is going through. This evidently from Rabbi Yaakov Kani, for the Stipler, from Shah the Stipler. The article is a different shot. It's that when the it takes the dirt from Chutzlaretz and puts it in Eretz Yisrael. That dirt, which was once part of Chutzlaretz, now has the status of Eretz Yisrael, because that has nothing to do with the dirt. That's to do with the underlying soil, not with the dirt. So therefore, it actually has to removes the dirt from one side, puts it on the other side. Now that dirt is shaykh to the other side, and vice versa. Takes the dirt from this side, puts it on the other side. The article shot, which it brings down from, I think it's from the Reb Chaim. Not like his father, not like Stipler, is that the riverbed has to be filled in. In other words, the old riverbed still retains the status of riverbed even if it's dry. That's the only, in order to erase its previous status, it has to be filled in with dirt. There has to be dirt. Yes, when the river changed course, dirt slid into the original riverbank, and now it's null and void. But if the dirt didn't slide in the original riverbank, so the original riverbank, evidently, according to this plan, Reb Chaim, which I think is a bigger chiddush, it still retains its status as a boundary, despite the fact that the water is coursing somewhere else. Okay. Getting back to the next sugya. Shel Uri Yesh Shir Shud Vartor. We said that the challah in the place of Olei Mitzrayim, the challah which goes to the fire, has to have a shear, because since it became chayiv time Olei Mitzrayim, even though now it was not kind of Olei Bavel, that it does have a chiyuv of challah at least a vestigial chiyuv, let's call it, and therefore that is the challah, the challah which goes to the ur, and that one has to have the shear, not the challah which goes to the kohen. Shur yesh lo shear shel ur yesh lo shear shu dvar Torah. So it was dvar Torah. It's not really Torah. It's like because the kedusha shayt of lo kedusha las level that kedusha doesn't no longer applies. But it's as if it's kishel Torah, as opposed to areas of chutzos which are never kishel Torah. Not even time about limits, right? So therefore, but since it's dvar Torah, it's like once was dvar Torah, so retains its status. That's the ikar challah. Shakoin ein lo shear, and of course that which goes to the kohen has no shear because shumid divrei, that's an additional challah that they set up, and therefore that has no shear. So the Gemara asks, "V'afish lo afish kohen." Why take off two? Just since the ikar is the burnt challah, so why need the second challah altogether? Shloimim the eino reinu truma nisrefes, because those who don't know that even the tchum of only Mitzrayim was the decree tummy because of Eretz Amim, they'll think, wait, that's truma Torah and it's being burnt. So something's wrong. We're going to extrapolate even to Eretz Yisrael, and they're going to burn truma Torah. So we don't want that to happen. So we're asking Yavet's question. Okay, so fine. So it says side for coin, don't say side for the fire, right? So the so for the opposite. Because then they'll say we saw a truma which is tummy, which is being eaten by the kohen. So therefore we wanted to preclude each mistaken perspective, and therefore we made two. Okay, because now they're separating both of them. When somebody comes from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, he's going to ask, he's going to inquire what's going on here, and we're going to explain to him exactly what's going on. Now, in Chutz La'aretz itself, where it was never Dvar Torah, both of the Rabbanon, Mutav Rabos Me'achelas, there it's better to increase the amount of truma which is eaten, and therefore the one given to the Kohen is the one which has a shear, whereas and not the not to increase the amount which is going to be burnt. So that brings us to the top of the next Amud, two dots, so we'll stop here for today.